Hello. In our last video, we had talked about what happens to a conductor whenever it is subjected to some external electric field. We have got few properties that electric field inside the conductor becomes zero, net electric field inside becomes zero, net charge inside becomes zero, and electric field at the surface is normal to the surface, and also that the potential at every point on the surface or inside the conductor is zero, and the electric field is simply given by electric field on the surface of a conductor. It is given by sigma upon epsilon naught. So these are the few things we have discussed in our last video. Now we will discuss what happens to a dielectric, which is an insulator. Dielectric whenever it is subjected to some external electric field or same electric field, right? So for that I just want to make few things clear. In dielectrics there are two kinds of dielectrics. One are the non-polar dielectrics and other one are polar dielectrics. So what are non-polar and polar dielectrics? Let me try to explain this first. So non-polar dielectrics. So in these are the dielectrics in which the atoms are such that the centers of gravity of all the negative charges which are carried by the electrons, means all the center of gravity of all the electrons in an atom, it coincides with the center of gravity of the positive charge which is carried by the nucleus of an atom. So if this is an atom, here it is the positive charge and the electrons, they keep on revolving around it, right? So when the centers of gravity of all these negative charges coincides or lie at same point where the center of gravity of positive charge inside an atom lies, so whenever both of these combine, the centers combine and lie at one common point, this is called as the non-polar dielectric, because there is no polarity appearing in the atom, right? So in this case this is a non-polar dielectric. So non-polar dielectric is the one in which the distribution of electrons is such that the center of gravity of positive charges and negative charges, they just coincide with each other, and hence there is no polar nature of the atom. So those dielectrics are called as the non-polar dielectrics, and such atoms are called as the non-polar atoms, right? In this non-polar atoms, what happens? The distribution of electrons is symmetric. Symmetric means uniformly distributed around this positively charged nucleus. Due to this symmetric or uniform distribution of the negative charge around the nucleus, positively charged nucleus, the center of the negative charge, it lies at the center of the positive charge. Center of the negatively charged electrons, cloud jitne bhi hain sabhi, all the electrons together, they are giving rise to a center of gravity which lies at the same point where the center of gravity of a positive charge lies, which is nucleus, right? So this is called as symmetric distribution of the electrons, right? Then there are polar dielectrics. Polar dielectrics are the ones in which the atoms are such that the centers of negative and positive charges are separated. They are not at the same point. So the center of gravity of the electrons is such that it is just at a different point than the center of gravity of a positively charged nucleus from it, if this is the case. So these are called as the polar atoms, and hence such a dielectric is called as polar dielectric, because there is some polarity which is already existing. So if this is the situation, these are the negatively charged electrons, so this electron cloud will give rise to some negative charge, or we can say some a center of the negative charge, suppose that it is lying at here. So this means this positive and negative charge are separated by some distance, and hence it is called as a polar atom or a polar dielectric, and hence a polar dielectric. So what is the difference? In this case, because the centers are coinciding, so there is no polarization right? So due to which the dipole moment here in this case is 0 whenever we have non-polar atoms. So these are non-polar atoms. So in case of non-polar atoms, the total dipole moment is 0, and in case of polar atoms, there is some dielectric moment, some dipole moment. So means dipole moment in case of polar atom is not 0, it has some value. So this is what we understand from the dielectrics. So what happens whenever we apply the electric field to some non-polar atom? The polar atoms are already such that the negative and positive charges are separated inside the atom. So there is no case of no need for applying the electric field to the polar dielectrics, or we can say it is not of any importance here. Only the importance is what happens to the dielectrics which are non-polar whenever some external electric field is applied to it. So in case of a non-polar atom, the negative charge is symmetrically distributed. Yes, symmetrically distributed around the positive charge nucleus. And in case of polar dielectrics, the distribution of negative and positive charges, or we can say negative charges, is not symmetric, it is non-symmetric, right? Or we can also say it is the asymmetric distribution. Of electrons, and in this case it is the symmetric distribution of electrons around, or we can say with respect to some negative charge of the atom. So this is asymmetric. We can also call it as non-symmetric. So whenever we talk about some non-polar dielectric, what happens to it whenever it is subjected to some external electric field? Suppose that we are applying some electric field in this direction, right? So this electric field, what happens? This will exert the force on the positive and negative charges, due to which all negative charges will be pulled opposite to the electric field, or we can say towards the positive plate. So this atom will no more remain as non-polar, it will become polar. How? Let us explain it. So this all the negative charges will be pulled towards the end which is close to the negative plate, or we can say negative charge electrons are pulled away, or we can say opposite to the applied electric field, and positive charges, it appears on the other side of the atom, right? Not in this manner, but they just get separated. I can say the atom no more remains symmetric, it just get separated, just like that, right? And as the separation begins, there comes a force between this positive and negative charge of the atom, due to which some restoring force acts opposite to the force exerted by this applied electric field. This restoring force, which is opposite to the force exerted by this electric field, try to bring the negative and positive charges again at same point, so that we get a non-polar atom. So whenever this external electric field is removed, it is due to this restoring force that comes between the centers of positive and negative charges of the atom, that it again becomes a non-polar dielectric. So this separation continues till this restoring force exactly balances the force exerted by this applied electric field, right? So whenever the force is external electric force and the restoring force between the centers of positive and negative charges, they are equal and opposite. When this restoring force equally balances the applied electric field, in that case the separation of positive and negative charges just ceases, or we can say stops. There is no more separation or no more movement of negative and positive charges away from each other. They get at one specific distance. Now it is not polar, but it is now polar, and this process of separation of negative and positive charges, or we can say center of negative charge electrons and positive charge nucleus, This process of separation of this is called as polarization. What we call it? Polarization of a non-polar dielectric. So polarization is nothing but the phenomena, or we can say process of separation or stretching of the center of a negatively charged electron cloud from the positively charged nucleus. So this separation or this stretching is called as polarization. So what we are doing, we are polarizing by applying the electric field. So this polarization takes place whenever some electric field is applied across some non-polar atom or dielectric. Right. Now we are ready to discuss what happens to a dielectric substance material whenever it is subjected to some electric field. Okay. So for that we are considering only the non-polar dielectrics, because polar are already separated. So here is the situation. Here comes one plate which is positively charged, carrying some surface charge density sigma, for example, and other one equally charged by negative charges carrying the same surface charge density sigma. Each plate has area A and separation between the plates is D, and for the sake of simplicity we are considering that all the space between the plates is filled with some dielectric substance, or we are placing dielectric substance between these two plates, or simply we can say that we have some dielectric substance across which some electric field is applied. The dielectric substance is such that area of these opposite faces is A and the separation between these two surfaces is D. We can also take the situation in that manner. Okay. So as soon as this electric field is applied, the applied electric field, for simplicity we write it with the value E naught. So E naught is the field which is applied due to these two oppositely charged plates. So due to these electric fields, the atoms, non-polar atoms of this dielectric will now stretch out. They just get stretched out such that negative charge comes in this way of an atom and positive charge appear on the other side towards the negative charge plate. And for the next atom it is also the negative charge here, and this is positive charge here, negative here, positive here, negative here, and positive here. So we can see within area, or we can say volume within the dielectric, these two charges are cancelling out, and these two charges are also cancelling out, these two charges are also cancelling out. So hence net charge inside, we can calculate the net charge inside the dielectric, it turns out to be 0. In the similar manner as the net charge inside a conductor is also 0. So this is the similarity between dielectric and conductor. Whenever they are placed inside the electric field, external electric field, the net charge inside dielectric and net charge inside the conductor is 0. Okay. So whenever all such atoms behave in this manner, let me draw one more line. Right? So all these atoms, or we can say charge inside the dielectric, gets neutralized. So net charge inside is 0. Net charge inside is 0, right? And only the charge that appears in the on the opposite faces of this dielectric slab. This is the dielectric substance or slab. So negative charge appear on the opposite faces of this dielectric substance. Negative charge on one side and positive charge on the other side of the face of the dielectric. So this is what is happening whenever external field is applied across the dielectric. So there is some charge that appears on one face and equal amount of charge appear on the other face. I am giving it name Qi. This is negative Qi and this is positive Qi. I subscript I have given due to, because this charge was not earlier, because earlier the dielectric was non-polar. Now this charge has been induced on the application of the external electric field. Hence, this is called as induced charge. So charges which appear on the surfaces, opposite faces of this dielectric, they are called as the induced charges. Equal in magnitude, opposite in separation. Okay. So this is the situation what is happening. So electric field we have applied, we can write it as electric field applied as E naught, which is given by sigma upon epsilon naught, as we have discussed earlier. Right, near the surface it is sigma upon epsilon naught. You can also take the case, this expression as these are the two plates, one is positively charged, another one is negatively charged. Right. So at this point, what will be the net electric field? It will be the sum of electric field due to the positively charged plate and electric field due to the negatively charged plates. So from here, the direction of electric field, it is along the same direction. So due to a single plate, what is the electric field? It is given by sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Due to other plate, the electric field, it is also sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Both have the same sign because the direction of electric field is same. So therefore, net electric field will be the sum of these two. And on adding these two gives the value sigma upon epsilon naught. So from here, this is the applied electric field, right? And in case of dielectric, this is the difference, that in case of dielectrics, the electric field which is set up across the two opposite faces, it is called as electric field due to polarization. We call it EP, which will be opposite to the electric field which is applied. So electric field due to this polarization process, we have done the polarization process by applying some electric field. So this electric field due to polarization, it will try to cancel out the effect of the applied electric field, but not completely. Some part is cancelled, other one is left. This left out part of the electric field, applied electric field inside the dielectric, is called as the reduced value of electric field. So this is the difference between dielectric and conductor whenever they are subjected to the external electric field. In case of conductors, electric field inside is 0. In case of dielectric, electric field inside is not 0. It has some value. And this electric field, it is called as reduced value of electric field. And for convenience, we are representing it with E. This is given whatever value we have applied minus whatever value which is opposed, which is EP, electric field due to polarization. This is also called electric field due to induction, induced electric field. So these are important relations. Another thing we discuss here, we discuss the few important properties, 3 here. One is the dielectric constant. Dielectric constant about this non-polar dielectric, it is indicated by K, or it is also indicated by epsilon R. Dielectric constant here can be defined as the ratio of the applied electric field to the reduced value of electric field. So this is the dielectric constant of the substance. So more is the reduced value of electric field, means less polarization has taken place, and K will be less. This is what it means. And second quantity we understand is the polarization density. So polarization density, it is nothing but a physical quantity which gives the information about how much polarization has taken place, how much separation of center of positive and negative charges has taken place. And this polarization degree, or in other way we can say that polarization density gives the measurement of degree to which a non-polar dielectric is polarized, right? So degree, polarization density measures the degree of polarization in any dielectric substance, and it is defined as, that is easy to understand because centers of positive and negative charges are separated, so there will be some dipole moment, right? So the polarization density can be easily understood in the form of the dipole moment that has been induced. So simply we can define as the polarization density is defined as of a non-polar dielectric is defined as the ratio of net dipole moment induced. This dipole moment is induced. It was not earlier. Induced on applying the external electric field. You can write it here. Induced per unit volume of the dielectric. Right? So, in 1 unit volume of the given dielectric substance, what is the dipole moment that has been induced? By knowing that, we can say what is the polarization density of the dielectric. So, we represent the polarization density as capital P. So, this can simply be written as from here, suppose that each face is having area A and separation between the opposite faces is D, right? So, these charges appear on opposite faces. So, due to this, we can say that net charge on one face is Qi and net charge on the opposite face is plus Qi, minus Qi and plus Qi. So, from there, we can write the net dipole moment as Qi into separation between the charge. By the definition of dipole moment, it is equal to the charge, either of the charge into separation between them. In that case, we take it as 2L and here we can take it as D. We are taking this as D, so we can write it Qi into D. So, this is the net dipole moment per unit volume. Total volume is A into D. So, from here we understand that D can cancel out and we are left with Qi upon A, which simply is representing the charge that has been dwelled on surface A, having area A. So, that is sigma A. You can write it as sigma A. Or we can write it as sigma P, sigma P. This is the surface charge density due to polarization on the surface, opposite surfaces of the dielectric. So, from here we can understand how we can represent the this polarization density. In general, we can also write the polarization density as, if each atom has the dipole moment P induced. This is the dipole moment that has been induced in each atom, and number of atoms are in unit volume. Number of atoms in 1 unit volume are given by N. So, therefore, total dipole moment per unit volume, this is what we call as polarization density. So, this discussion can be further extend, because we can write the external electric field to be sigma upon sigma naught. So, reduced value of electric field, okay, let me just so these are important equations to remember or formulas to remember. So, from here, because applied electric field can be written as this, so therefore reduced value can be written as sigma minus sigma P, because this surface charge density has been opposed by the surface charge density which is induced due to polarization process, divided by epsilon naught, or this we can write as sigma upon epsilon naught minus sigma P upon epsilon naught. So, this is nothing but the applied electric field. So, we can write it as E naught minus in here sigma P, which is nothing but the polarization density. We can write it as P upon epsilon naught. So, these are the few things we can understand from here. The third quantity which we are to discuss here, which is the last quantity we are discussing, it is the susceptibility. Susceptibility of a non-polar dielectric. Susceptibility, it is nothing but a physical quantity which gives the measurement of how easily a non-polar dielectric can be polarized. How it can be polarized, or how easily it can be polarized. So, that easiness, the degree of easiness is measured by defining the quantity susceptibility. It is found that the polarization density is proportional to applied electric field, and it is related to the, sorry, not applied electric field, but it is the reduced value of electric field, and it is related through this expression. This expression is known already, so we are taking it as it is. So from here we can substitute the value of polarization from here to here in this equation. So therefore, so this constant is called as the susceptibility. This constant, this is called as xi. You can write it as just like this, xi, xy, xi, right? Okay, so this is the susceptibility. It measures the degree, or sorry, not degree, but the easiness by which a substance, dielectric substance, can be polarized. So when we substitute the value of polarization density from here to here, we get E is equal to E naught minus xi epsilon naught E upon. Now we are trying to derive the relation between the susceptibility and the dielectric constant K. So from here it is epsilon naught, so it cancels out. So we are left with E is equal to E naught minus xi into E, where E is the reduced value of electric field. So this term and this term can be combined, so we are left with E naught, which is equal to E into 1 plus xi. We are just transposing, keeping E naught on one side and E on the other side. So from here this E can be taken to the left side. So it is E naught upon E. This is the applied electric field and this is the reduced value of electric field. And on the right hand side we are left with only this. And this ratio is nothing but the dielectric constant. So from here we can write that K, the dielectric constant, it is related to susceptibility through this relation. So K, dielectric constant, is equal to 1 plus xi. So these are few things which are related with a non-polar dielectric whenever it is subjected to some external electric field. All these quantities helps us understand the behavior of dielectric, that is inside some external electric field, right? And one last thing that I want to mention, what happens to an atom whenever it is subjected to some external electric field. Suppose that we are applying some external electric field E naught to some atom so that its negative and positive charges just get separated, right? They are just separated, but still the positive and negative charges are in the atom. What happens if we keep on increasing the applied electric field? More and more separation takes place. We keep on applying higher and higher value of the applied electric field, thus more and more separation, or we can say more and more polarization of this negative and positive charges takes place. And a situation comes, if we keep on increasing the applied electric field, a situation comes whenever the centers of positive and negative charges just get separated, or I can say electrons are taken out from the atom. And when electrons are taken out from the atom, not all but few of them, in that case these electrons become available for conducting the electricity. These electrons now, which are taken out from the non-polar atom on applying the sufficient higher amount of electric field, so that in that situation these electrons are called as free electrons, and now these are able to conduct electricity. Hence in this condition, in this situation, dielectric no more remains an insulator, but it becomes a conductor, because now it has some free electrons to conduct the electricity. So this maximum value of applied field is called as dielectric strength of the non-polar dielectric substance or non-polar dielectric atom. It is the dielectric strength of that dielectric substance, the maximum value of the applied electric field, at which the breakdown of positive and negative charges take place. So that maximum value at which this breakdown takes place is called as the dielectric strength of that dielectric substance. So this is the another term I can say. This is the dielectric strength. Right? Dielectric strength and dielectric constant, they are two different things. So dielectric strength measures up to which extent the field can be applied to a dielectric substance, so that the breakdown of positive and negative charges does not take place. So that extent up to which the applied electric field can be increased, that maximum applied electric field, it is called as the dielectric strength, which has the same units as the units of electric field, right? Newton per coulomb, or that can also be represented as volt per meter, because electric field which is related with dV upon dr, so units are same as the electric field. Dielectric strength has the same unit as electric field. Practically the units are not volt but kilovolt per meter, because the separation of positive and negative charges is not so easy. We require a very large amount of potential, or we can say electric field. So that is all about what happens to a dielectric whenever it is subjected to some external electric field. Thank you.